So there is this new trend in horror of taking recently public domained kids property and turning them into low-budget slashers. And with that trend also comes the trend of internet critics that are way too cynical, telling their audiences that this is the worst movie ever, and then their audience do the same thing and just flood Letterboxd with terrible reviews. That happened last year with We Need the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which honestly was bad but not that bad, and I feel the same way about this year's The Mousetrap, a horror film based on Steamboat Willie. I say that loosely because the only thing it has in common with Steamboat Willie is that the killer kind of wears a similar looking mask. And when I read the reviews for this movie, I was expecting the worst movie ever, and then when I watched it, I thought to myself, wow, this is what all the fuss is about? Just a mediocre slasher?
Okay, no, that's okay.
Some people are so goddamn privileged, they haven't seen half the shit we have. Don't come and tell me that The Mousetrap is the worst movie ever when Karl Suknik made Alien Beasts.
Man, that was hard to watch.
So yeah, this is not usually the type of movies I cover on this channel. This is like, I wouldn't even say mainstream, but this is quite different for me. And what inspired me to do this? Simply because I wanted to talk about the most hated horror film of 2024, which honestly is just a mediocre slasher.
I need another shot.
Also, I will admit that I am definitely biased because this was shot in my hometown. In fact, most of the movie happens in an arcade that is called Fun Haven, which is literally like 30 minutes that way from my house.
You wanna see what I see?
What is The Mousetrap about? It's not about much. So you have these two girls who work at Fun Haven, as I mentioned. Well, one of them is a redhead and she's not really important. We really want to know about Alex, who gets kind of bullied by a kid. Fucking loser.
You need to date someone your own age, loser.
Anyways, when she gets done being bullied by a child, the boss comes in and tells them that they booked a private party at 8 p.m, so they must stay and work later. Instead of, I don't know, complaining to the labor board, they decide to stay the extra 3 or 4 hours. The manager sweetens the deal by telling them that they will get paid time and a half, or double time. Doesn't really matter. Who cares? Then the girls are like, oh, okay, we'll stay. And then the manager, who's British for some reason, I guess Canada was a British dominion, goes back to his house and we see his basement and he is obsessed with Walt Disney cartoons. The only thing is they're only allowed to play Steamboat Willie, but he magically has a film print of Steamboat Willie that he watches on his screen projector. I don't know, he just has like a film projector like that and he decides to play Steamboat Willie, and then a man dressed as Mickey Mouse, who's possibly magical, no he is because he teleports a lot in this film, just kills him. And we get to see our first foray into the wonderful kills that this movie will have. That was sarcastic, most of them are CGI and off screen. Anyways, we go back to our ladies at Fun Haven, and the redhead is like, hey Alex, you know, I met this guy online and then Alex like, yeah, you can go, I'll tell the boss that you were still here, blah blah blah, you'll get your money, and then you'll get your dickens later. So the redhead leaves, and then we discover that it's a private party, but not with children, but with Alex's friends. Yay! So yes, this is exactly where you think this is going. They're gonna be stuck in that arcade while little Mickey Mouse kills them one by one. How original.
It's a cake.
In between that, we get a love triangle between Alex, Marcus, and a hockey player, who is probably the most realistic depiction of a hockey player in any movie I've seen. He's a total douchebag. And he really wants to sleep with Alex. But there's a problem. Marcus is there, so in typical hockey player fashion, he gets his team to plan on intimidating Marcus. We get a scene where the hockey players are at a bar, by the way, that has no other clients and not even a bartender. Yay. I guess free drinks all night. And they're talking like, yeah, we really gotta get to that Marcus guy. He's talking to whatever the character's name is, side chick. And you're like, Jesus Christ, did somebody really write that?
Took a few pucks to the head though.
It's Alex's 19th birthday, which in Ontario, which is where this was filmed, it means that they can now legally drink. So that's what they do at the kids' arcade that Alex works at. Like, girl, the manager's just gonna come in the next day and realize that half his booze is gone, and he's gonna be pretty mad. Also, they don't even plan on cleaning up when they say that they'll leave for another bar.
Oh, fuck that, man!
So yeah, in typical, slasher fashion, you have your horny teens who will get high and have intercourse, but they will get killed before that. In this movie, it's like a typical wannabe gangster guy. Like, this character is so absurd, and it's really out of this, period of time. He would have fit in if this was made in 2007, but no, it's 2024. And they die, they get killed. They're the first ones, I think. There's so many characters in this, and I watched this like a week ago, and since then I've watched like 15 other movies, so a generic slasher is hard to remember at this point.
Fuck shit!
Hey, don't panic!
Then there's of course the goth girl, who is clearly in love with Alex too, so this is like a three-way love triangle, and then all the characters get killed one by one. At first they think it's, the hockey player, which is, he's a douchebag and kind of violent, so that's not a bad suspicion to have. But yeah, it's clearly not the hockey player. The man is dressed as Mickey Mouse and he teleports. He's just there 1 minute, and then the other second, he's outside stabbing someone. Like, come on, people. I know hockey players are fast, but they're not that fast. They're not magical. At one point, Marcus, who's in love with Alex, gives her her birthday present, which is every sour candy from every country? What is that, a Try Guy videos? What the fuck?
This is every sour candy from around the world.
Oh, and also, the dialogue in this is pretty bad because it tries really hard to be Scream.
You scared the shit out of me, man. Holy crap, she's gonna freak when she sees you.
And if you've been following me for a while, you know I already don't like that franchise, so making a worse version of that isn't really gonna please me.
Like if he was in a horror movie, you'd never say, "I'll be right back," because then you don't.
But you're probably thinking, Spooky, I thought you said you didn't hate this one. No, I didn't. This is a video. I'm trying to be entertaining. But realistically, this movie, for what it is, isn't really that bad. Yeah, it's cliche. Yeah, the characters suck. Yeah, it's kind of predictable. Well, it's very predictable. But at least it's shot well. Lighting is good. Sound is good. Acting is decent for what it is. Except the hockey players, but let's forget about those people.
No, not his main, no. He's talking to his backup chick.
Oh.
So yeah, like, on a technical, what makes a movie a movie? I've seen way worse than this. Jesus Christ, I've seen alien beasts, I've seen grandma, I've seen zombies, bikers from Detroit. Have you even heard about that movie? I'm telling you, it's way worse than The Mousetrap. And honestly, there's some pretty good jokes in this, and I like the way the story is told. It's all told in flashbacks that the goth girl tells to the police after the massacre, because the goth girl was the only one to survive. Now I'll tell you the ending. Alex gets her head chopped off, and then everybody is like, no, and then it cuts. So the ending kind of isn't great either. I would have loved to, see more people die in this slasher. I would have loved to see more gore, kind of how Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was, the gore was kind of decent. This isn't as good. Well, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey isn't even that good, but the second one is really fun. Don't trust everybody saying that this is the worst movie ever. This isn't. They rarely are when people say that. The worst movie ever is a movie that 5 people have seen that was made in 2 minutes by some crackhead in New Jersey. It's not The Mousetrap.
I never got to ask her out. And he just cut her head off.
So, what did I think of the most hated film of 2024? Well, it's bad. it's still not a good movie. Like, it's just not as bad as people make it out to be. Honestly, I was like watching this while I was working out, half paying attention. Like, for what I needed at this moment, that one hit the spot. It had characters, it had slashings, it had a silly mask, a low budget feel, but still looking semi-professional. Plus, you know, I was like, hey, I recognize that spot. Hey, that's in my city. Hey, I know where that is. Hey, I think I've met this woman before. Hey, I think I've met this actor before. Hey, did I work with that person? So that was my thoughts on The Mousetrap. Also, the title sucks. It's fucking. At least Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey just told you straight up. But I doubt they could call this the Mickey Mouse Massacre because, again, it's Steamboat Willie and Walt Disney doesn't mess around, which I appreciate this film for being a middle finger to the Walt Disney Corporation, because that's one of the worst company to ever come out of the world of cinema. Disney, you can fuck off and die. In Minecraft, like it's a person, it's a goddamn corporation. I can say that a corporation can die. Anyways, people, have yourselves a good one, and don't watch The Mousetrap, but if you have to, you won't probably hate it as much as people make it out to be.